So this is how you fill up your allostatic loads throughout life, right? In the beginning, life you could have had trauma as a kid, or somebody has passed away, or stress at school, right? So eventually, let's say you're here. Let me drink some of that. Okay, so this is reasonable, right? Normal allostatic load right here, and then we're gonna fill it up with a little bit of life, right? This is some life juice, right? So, some of the things I mentioned before. So you had a couple things happen in life when you were younger. Uh, Maybe you're a person that had a happy childhood. All right, let's say that's the case. You had somewhat of a happy childhood. Maybe your dog died. That was traumatic. Your bird died. School was hard. Math was hard, right? And then in your teens, you had some stress at school. Maybe you had, the banana antibiotic medicine stuff because you had colds every couple of years. You would have. So I had that medicine, that banana medicine, probably 5 times. So let's see, how far are we? We're here. Okay. That banana medicine is pretty significant, right? Then in my teens, early 20s, I was drinking. I liked to party and drink. I was a party animal. Smoking cigarettes, right? Oh yeah, we were partying all the time. My body was constantly every day, right? Every day I was probably for 10 years. I didn't miss a day of drinking and partying and smoking cigarettes, right? And then, I started growing up a little bit, just a little bit, not too much, not too much. And I got into, some relationships, some toxic relationships. So a first toxic relationship that lasted 8 years. Ugh, right? Toxic work environment for 10 years. Ugh, right? That was significant. Like, this bottle needs to be bigger in a way. What else is there? Oh, I was in a relationship with a narcissist for 4 years. Oh my goodness. That alone, right, fills up my bucket. That alone, it should be overflowing by now, but I'm trying to make it so that I can give it a good example, right? Surgeries, flu shots, right? Um, what else is there? Medications. Oh yeah, that should be already overflowing by now. That's enough. That's right. COVID-19, like, that's already overflowing, right? And whatever you have that goes along with all that. Add that. That's probably two of these, but we only have one of these, so you can understand how it'd be overflowing like crazy, right? And that's just an example. I wanted to give an example so that you can visualize how all the drops in our lives accumulatively add up to fill up our bucket, and it starts to overflow, right? And it's like we're pulling 747s, right? And we're not regulating, we're not letting go. When you do that, the system gets sloshy. Something's got to give. Body keeps a score, right? It starts to buffer. It's not working right. It's just all its only job right now at this point is just to keep you alive. It's not detoxing as good as it should, because it can't. How could it? It's got other things that are more priority. It doesn't care about that burrito that's digesting. No, no, no. We don't care about that. That it, put that to the side. We got to keep this guy alive because he's got ligers surrounding him. Because of the proof, 30 years of bullshit of ligers, accumulatively, it's adding up. And here we are, right? So, and then there's the baseline, right? I tried to draw. I'm not the best drawer, but you get the gist. So, 10 years old, just normal stuff, life, normal stuff, right? And then, you're in your 20s. You're an alcoholic, well, binge drinker. I was an alcoholic per se, I guess you could say I was, but I was a binge drinker, right? Uh, some of my friends weren't the best friends, not good quality, right? We were just, all we did was it was like a brotherhood of partying, right? We're in a band, and all we did was party, smoke cigarettes. Some of them did drugs, right? I wasn't the drug type of guy. I was more, let's, polish off a 12 pack a night and go to the bar and drink till, the early morning and till the birds come home. And let's do that the next day. Again, it was mostly the weekends where we drank, where I drank and blacked out. But during the week, I'd at least have a six pack. So imagine doing that for 10, 15 years of my life, right? Plus, puts so much stress on the body. Plus, childhood stuff here and there, right? That adds up. And then I started dating and I, was involved in some toxic relationships. I was also at fault. I wasn't perfect, right? I was, a bit of a douche too, right? So that adds up. And then I got involved with a narcissist, right? I thought, I'm gonna grow up now. Finally, I'm gonna stop drinking so much. I'm gonna, be a man and go to work. Go find a work for the city, right? The union environment, which was toxic. Oh yeah, let's add that up, right? And then I think I would say around here, that's when I was with the narcissist. 4 years, boom, right? And 4 years, it gets hardwired. It get when you're with somebody or in a situation, whatever it doesn't have to be a relationship, it could be anything. When you're in that situation for long periods of time or throughout your life, it gets hardwired there. So it locks it in. See, that's my lock. It creates a neural pathway. This is the new neural pathway, right? And the baseline that's supposed to be at zero, right, is now hardwired here. Now you're stuck here. And when you're stuck here, that's when symptoms manifest because you've programmed a survival state that's constant for years and years and years. And when it does that, something's got to give. Body keeps a score, right? And it fills up the bucket really quickly. And the body's not able to work efficiently. And when it's in a survival state like that, the alarm system, it's designed to get your attention to perceive danger. And let's say, for example, all of a sudden, oops, the relationship stopped, it ended, thank goodness, and you go to live on a beach, right? And, you know, everything, your environment, everything is calm. It's like down here level. Your program is still gonna keep going and that in that state, in that because that's your new baseline. It takes it a while. It's gonna take it a while for it to finally come down. So it might maybe over here, maybe a couple of years, it'll come down over here, right? But until then, you could be just living by the beach, not doing any programs, nothing, just the natural way. And it could take you a couple of years for those lagers, for the brain to understand that there's no lagers anymore. Because what it's doing, it's set. It's been set because of your life. It's not your fault, but it's been set to stay hardwired in survival. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just what it is, and it's there. It's a survival mechanism that the brain uses, right, to give you the best optimal chance to keep you alive. But when you're in that state for too long, symptoms manifest and alarms will ring. And we don't like that because it feels uncomfortable, right? The anxiety alarms, the mental alarms, the physical alarms start ringing. We get confused, we get scared, and then that becomes traumatic, right? And then we get stuck in a loop. So normally, what's supposed to happen, right? Let me get this again. Normally, what's supposed to happen when you see, let's say, I'm going to draw a liger, okay? A shitty liger. Okay, there's my liger. Okay, this guy's ferocious. He likes to roar. He's dangerous. He's going to eat your head off. So, normally what's supposed to happen, and I'm going to erase all this stuff, just because I want you to see what's supposed to happen. Normally, when you see a liger, you go into from 0 to a state of fight or flight, let's say 1,000. When you kill this liger, or you run away from it, So you're far away from it and you're safe. So either way, when it's dead, you're safe. You run away from it, you're safe. So we're going to eliminate this liger now because you're safe now because it's done. You killed it. You ate it for dinner, right? In a short period of time. Let's say this happened 20 minutes, right? You go from state of fight or flight because it's there to support you, to fight or flee. It's the whole your whole alarm system is there to support you, and let's fight this thing that's going to be there. That's a danger. Let's fight this liger that's there. Let's get the troops ready. Let's get let's get your system ready to fight or run. Once it's done, your alarm system goes back down to zero. We call standby, right? The alarm system is reset. It's back on standby. You're ready for the next threat. And that happens within, when the liger's dead, 20 minutes, done. And then everything, your alarm system's calmed down. You're not in a survival state, a chronic survival state, and your body is able to work efficiently again. Your biome's back online, right? Right? You don't need to micromanage anything, right? Your liver's detoxing properly. Your digestion is working with ease. You can eat everything, right? It's not putting it aside to keep you alive. Now it's like, oh, well, we're working efficiently. Now we can detox this. Oh, he's got a bit of a flu or a cold. He'll only feel 2%, and we'll have it done by the end of today. He'll have it for maybe 5 hours, maybe, and he won't even know he had it because we're working so efficiently that the body's able to do its thing with ease, right? It comes in, fucks off, it's done. What's next? What do you got? This is easy. This is the way it's supposed to be. Compared to when you're constantly in an alarm state, something's going to gum up, not work properly, right? You're buffering, right? Just like if you have too many pictures of cats on your phone doesn't work properly. It starts buffering, right? It doesn't do little calculations properly. It starts to delay and freeze up, right? That's what happens to us. We freeze up, we gum up. Symptoms manifest. So, but when we regulate, things are able to work efficiently, and the body knows how to fix itself, and it starts to catch up on things that it put to the side. So it starts to catch up. Right? It goes, oh, well, we didn't heal that fast enough. That cut, that's been okay. Let's heal that. Let's move that over here. Let's get the biome balanced again. Digestion's running again. Perfect. Yeah, we're not in survival. We can be in rest and digest. We're working with ease. Okay, everything's easy. What next? We're just gonna relax. Right? That's where you want to be in. That's where you want to get to. Right? That's the goal. But we didn't get a pamphlet or a handbook when we were born. Maybe we did. Maybe it's been hidden. Right? And we didn't know that we were supposed to regulate throughout our lives. And we didn't know that we weren't supposed to be surrounded by so much stress. Well, social media, the news, politics, right? Work, relationships, right? Dis-ease. When you're in dis-ease, something's got to give. So our goal is to update the program, reset the alarm system, turn off the alarms, bring the baseline back down to zero. In this way, you're able to work with ease, and the body and the brain is able to regulate and do what it's supposed to do without you micromanaging it. You just leave it alone. You get out of the way. Get the fuck out of the way. Start micromanaging it, right? And this is how you support it. If you want to support your body and your brain, this is how you do it, and let it do its thing. Because you will never know. In a million years from now, you will never understand how the microbiome works or how to create a neural pathway. The brain knows how to do that. Let it do its job, right? Your job is to introduce a program of ease and happiness. That's it. And everything else will follow suit. So this is why when I say do the work, follow the 9 pillars, and that it took me 3 years to bring down to my baseline, empty those allostatic loads, right? Because that's the behind the scenes work that you need to do every day. This is why I did the 1 hour visuals, right? And the 1 to 3 hours of elevating every day, and playtime, and raising my vibration every day, because that brings down the baseline. So just think 1 hour of visuals, 1 hour of elevating times 365. So 2 hours a day, let's say minimum, because I did a little bit more. It's 2 hours a day times 365, right? Let's times that by how many years? 3 years? So let me do some calculations. You guys can join me on this. 2 times 365 times 3, right? 2,100. No, you can't see it's backwards. 2,190 hours. It all adds up. And it makes a massive difference. And that's how you reset your alarm system. Not just that, but when you're also with your thoughts and feelings and symptoms, when you're taking away the resistance, because when you have resistance and you have that inner battle inside you, you know what? Because what you resist persists, and you try to distract, right? It's like saying, "Don't think about purple tigers." When I say, "Don't think about purple tigers," what's the first thing that's going to happen, right? You're going to have, an inner battle of resistance, right? When you're doing opposites, they're ignoring, distracting, counting backwards. You have, an inner battle because what's the point of an alarm? The point of an alarm is to what? Be heard, to be acknowledged. But when you ignore it, it's going to ring louder and louder. And then you have that inner battle. Then you got the OCD looping thoughts that get stronger and bigger. When you have that inner battle, guess what? It brings up your baseline into a higher survival state. And when it does that, guess what? It's going to rain more alarms because it's supposed to. It's supposed to protect you because it's perceiving danger, right? So these are the reasons why when I say you need to do steps, you need a program, because when you're dealing with more than 5 symptoms, like many people, 20, like me, 75 or 70 symptoms plus, right? And you got the OCD looping thoughts, you got the anxiety, right? You got all these symptoms. You can't just dial down the fear and become indifferent instantly and live life, walk in life and go, just live life, just have that pizza. I know you get bladder diarrhea when you have food sensitivities, just eat that pizza, go ahead. Dial down the fear. It's okay. You're allowed to, right? And just continue activity as if you were fine. And live life, right? Try that. That's not going to do shit. It's not going to cut it. And that's why people in those situations do need a program. You need to have that hand guide you because you're lost at sea and you need to have that lighthouse guide you in, right? You need to have somebody or a program to guide you over that invisible bridge. Because if you just try this, right? If you're a person dealing with all these 70 symptoms and you're at home, right? And you're just like, oh, live life. If you have a moment where, you're not doing something, your brain's going to hijack you with the thoughts and you're fucked. It has to win. It will win because it needs to get your attention to perceive danger because its number one job is to keep you alive. It doesn't care if you suffer. Its only job is to keep you alive. So if you're, going to just go ahead and live life and just be fine with it and go, yeah, just, don't worry, just go live life. You don't need programs. You don't need steps. You don't need to do visuals. Well, you're going to find out real quick. You're going to find out that it doesn't work, that you're actually spiraling out of control because you get sucked into looping thoughts, right? And you're going to lose. The brain's going to, when it versus the brain and you're not prepared. You don't have guidance. You're going to lose. And you have to lose. Right? And it's good. It's actually a good thing that you lose because the brain is in the driver's seat, the amygdala, and its job is to keep you alive. So it's doing its job. It's working perfectly. So I'm grateful for the brain that it's doing what it's supposed to do and it's working efficiently. But the thing is, I needed steps. I needed a program so I could slowly get out of the storm and build leverage day by day, build leverage by making mistakes, falling on my face, because this journey gets worse before it gets better. The journey from here to here does make exorcisms jealous, right? But it's supposed to. And that's how you earn your recovery. And that's how you build leverage over time. And then you graduate to indifference. And that dial moves by itself. You don't touch that dial. You can't. It doesn't. right? The more you try to touch that dial, the more that dial grows roots and goes right. You go, it won't. It'll turn by itself when it's ready to. The more you allow it to be on high, the more it'll calm down, right? Without using these methods, the allowing methods as a weapon to make sure, well, if I'm allowing you to be there, you better be gone, right? No strings attached, no strings attached, no hidden fees or no checking to see if it's gone. We're using it as a weapon. If you're authentically allowing something, you're allowing it to be there fully, no matter what. Actually, you're inviting whatever the what if thought is to be there for the next 3 months extra. Just for that, I want you to stay for another 3 months. Just pack it, pack it. So that's why it's important to do the work behind the scenes, because you can't just go ahead and live life, right? There's more to it than that. It's not going to cut it. That's not going to move the needle, right? That could just actually that could fan the fire, if anything. So there's stages. There's also stages when you're ready to do exposure. In the beginning, you can't do exposure right away because that's also like pouring gasoline on the fire. And then there's creating a little bubble in the beginning, right? Where we have to take ourselves out of everyday life for a little bit, right? Cutting out the news, cutting out certain people out of our lives just for temporary. It's all temporary, just so that you can do the work. So you're out of the noise, because we're very sensitive. And also we catch our old behavior patterns, because if you're catching old behavior patterns, first you got to be aware of them before you can change them. And once you're aware of them, you change them. And you need to be aware of them over and over and over again, so you can change them over and over and over again, right? This over behavior patterns is like body checking, talking with Sally about symptoms all day, researching about symptoms, having, going down all these rabbit holes, being on these Facebook groups. Like anything that does not support your recovery is something that you need to stop, right? Checking your temperature or your heart rate 50 times a day. That's what I did. I had thermometers in different parts, in different rooms and in my vehicles. And I would also check them without people knowing, because I knew they would be watching me check and they'd be like, okay, can you stop now? Can you, right? So I do it in secret. I would check my blood pressure in secret. I also had a machine that I brought everywhere with me. And the batteries ran out. I'd panic and I'd go to the grocery store and or the drugstore and get my heart or my blood pressure checked. Also, my pulse, I was always checking it. And I did it in secret. It's like people probably thought I had a bladder problem because I was constantly in the washroom checking shit. Right? When I didn't have to pee, I was just like, oh, okay. All right. Okay. I think I'm good. Let's check again just to make sure. 3 times a trim. Right? So there's certain things you just got to stop. That's why I say you need to do the work. And sometimes people need, I would say most of the time, people need a program. They need steps. They need a guide just to stick to it. And then you become your own guide, right? You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall on your face. But, all the failures just give you more leverage. You become your own guide, right? And then eventually it's not a program anymore. It's a lifestyle. So this is the reason why when I say do the work, because, we're not here just to turn off alarms, right? If you have a pain here, if you're not emptying those allostatic loads and bringing down your baseline, what's going to happen is you'll turn this alarm off. Let's say the pain in your shoulder, and then all of a sudden you got issues that pop up next week. It's like a whack-a-mole game. Turn one off, another one turns on. You get rid of all your physical symptoms, all of a sudden you got mental symptoms skyrocketing. You got post-traumatic stress, OCD looping thoughts, phobias that come out of nowhere, right? When one goes down, another one has to come up because it has to get your attention. When you start turning off alarms, the brain's losing its alarm supply. When you're fully not regulated yet, you're still kind of up here and you're turning off alarms when you're ahead of the game. And this isn't, when the background isn't matching right away, because this takes time, then it has to find new supply. So that's when new symptoms come up or symptoms shift to new symptoms, and we get the freakouts. That's what happens. And that's why it's important to keep working in the background with your allostatic load so they come down to a reasonable amount, and to bring down that baseline back to standby. This is the symbol for standby, 0, right? So that it stops throwing alarms at you, because it's no need anymore, because you've regulated everything. So you don't need to turn off alarms anymore, right? You got to fully do the work, not just move loads around or turn off alarms. Because in some of these, I just whistled. In some of these programs, what they do is they just turn off alarms, but they're not fully, cleaning out that hoarding house. For example, where you're in a hoarding house, and they're saying, well, let's just make a path. Let's just shuffle a path from the bedroom to the washroom so that we have a way to walk there. And that's it. And then we'll move all the loads from one room to the other room, and then we'll just pile it high. Hey, that's good enough, right? We're good. We can walk. We can use the washroom. Look, I'm using the washroom. But you still got the cockroaches there, the mold all over the walls, dead cats under the stairs. You got 5 dead cats, right? You got flies everywhere. It smells like shit. You still can't walk. It's a fucking fire hazard, right? And you're getting sick all the time. Why not clean out the house? Get a dumpster, fucking get all the garbage out, put it in the dumpster, bleach everything, restore the floors, throw everything, throw out all the furniture, right? Get a company in there to really restore the whole place. Start painting, clean up everything, shine it nicely, and have a clean house from top to bottom instead of managing and moving loads, because something's going to eventually pop up again, right? And this is where it's important, where loads, they have a threshold, right? Let's say we're good here. That's not bad. Maybe a little bit of, no, that's pretty good. Right there, that's normal. But you get to this spot right here. That's where the symptoms. That's your allostatic load threshold, right? If you're below this, you might not have symptoms. You might have 2 or 3, which is fine. No big deal, right? You can handle that. You can live life still. But if you're just, cruising here, eventually life's going to throw you a curveball, and then all of a sudden symptoms manifest. You got 10 symptoms, right? And then there we go. But what people do is they do the work. Symptoms go away, usually around here, and they stop. When I say keep going, regulate all the way, because life is going to give you curveballs in the future. Guaranteed, I promise you. This is why we're here. We're here to experience the 3D environment, right? So let's say you're here. Symptoms are, I got maybe 1 symptom. No big deal, right? And then life throws you a curveball. You're right beneath the ice. You're walking on thin ice. That's what I should say. Right? Something happens. Aunt Kathy passes away. Fuck. Right? Symptoms pop up. So every time you're living life underneath the surface, it just takes something small, and you got symptoms again, symptoms again, symptoms again, symptoms again. Oh, I got to turn off alarms. Oh, I got to do the fucking method. Oh, I got to do fucking. I got to do this. I got to keep doing the work. I got to, when you could just do the work once fully, keep it as a lifestyle, so that this is always somewhat here. So when a curveball is thrown at you and you move up a little bit, right? It doesn't throw you a storm of symptoms, alarms, and it comes back down again. And you'll be able to deal with life's alarms and curveballs with ease. No problems. Actually, your alarm system might not even go on fully. You'd be like, it's nothing. You can handle it. We don't need to send you any alarms. You're good. You don't need to go on any special full-on program for 3 years again. No, because you've been doing this as a lifestyle, and you fully did the work. That one time that it took you 3 years, thank goodness you did the work, and you stuck to it for 3 years. Because the work you did then, your future self is thanking you. It's going, thank you. If you were to talk to your future self would be like, you know what? Thank you so much for going through the hell, making all these exorcisms jealous. I'm so fucking grateful because I can live my life now. I created a business. I'm able to do that. I can be a father. I'm having the best time of my life because of you, because of all the hard work you did. I'm an amazing. I'm a great husband. My wife's happy again. I'm able to travel. I can travel anywhere I want. My dreams are coming true, and I'm living the life of my dreams. Thank you. Thank you for doing the work. I appreciate it. You're keep going, please. You're amazing, right? So to me, that makes more sense. Do the work. Do it fully. We're not here just to turn off alarms here and there and to move loads around. Do it fully. Don't half-ass it. Trust me, because you don't want you don't want life to end up cock blocking you, right? You don't want these symptoms cock blocking you. You want to be able to live your life fully. So that's why I say do the work, stick to it, and then it becomes a lifestyle.